Here we are again with the price report every single Wednesday night. As we've promised for the last year, we have given you somebody that has dedicated their life to crypto. I call these people crypto lifers. You may call them that as well. This person I've shared the screen with came through for me when I was in Las Vegas. I'll never forget it. I consider him like a blood brother, man. I love this guy. He's a great guy. We both also went through some trauma in our lives recently, and it brought us together. And I just want to bring it out, my man, Dave, man. Dave from Sin City Crypto. How you been, Dave? How you feeling? How's everything going for you today?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for having me. You said I'm a crypto lifer. There can only be one crypto lifer, and that is you, my friend. But I appreciate it. You've been coming on our show, and we've kind of been collabing with you for a while now. And it's great to have friends like you in the space and kind of grow together. And so we reap the rewards, you reap the rewards, and the audience definitely reaps the rewards. So I'm excited, man.
You know, anyone could build a village. You know, building a village with someone else is so much fun. Like building something with other people is fun, and going along the ride and making, real lifelong friendships. To me, that's the most valuable thing in life. Money comes and goes. Material things come and go, but when you make a strong, solid connection with someone, that can last a lifetime. And I feel like I'm doing that with you, man. And I love having you on the show, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Well said, man. Thank you.
I wanted to get into some topics like we always do. And one of the main topics I wanted to talk about today was the CPI was yesterday, PPI was today, and it came out great, right, for risk on assets, which we kind of needed anyway. And it said, prices have finally gone down. Gasoline did go down, I guess in one argument. What's your take on that? How much have they fudged the numbers? Do you really consider it an actual win for us? Do you see rates getting cut next year possibly? And what's your take, being like a really well macroeconomic guy? You really seems to study this stuff. You read multiple books, kind of have a degree on it as far as I'm concerned.
I actually studied it in college, and then in 2008, I had to drop out and come back because I was in North Dakota going to school, I was getting my degree in macroeconomics. And then I came home and the whole financial crash happened. My dad lost business. So I had to make a decision. Do I go back to school or do I stay here and kind of help my family? And so I ended up staying in Vegas. I got 2 jobs and I kind of supported my entire family for about a year.
Wow.
But macro has always been something that I've been intrigued in. So here's the thing with inflation. Guys, we all know. We're still paying the same amount of money, if not more, for the items you were buying just a year ago, 18 months ago, 24 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
What people don't realize, too, well, some people might realize, especially if you're watching channels like Crypto Lifer, is this is the first year. So CPI, what they do, what you guys can understand is, how do they measure CPI, right?
Yeah, tell us.
They literally take a clipboard. They go store to store and say, are you charging more for prices this month over last month? Yes. Okay, yes. By how much? Okay, bang. They used to take a 2-year average, right? 2-year average. Now, this year, it's the first year where it's only a 1-year average. And people got to understand is this as well. If last year, lobster became super expensive and it was in the basket of goods and people stopped buying it, well, guess what? This year, that is no longer in the basket of goods. The cheap stuff that you bought will be in the basket of goods. And so that fudges the numbers up as well. Just think about yourself. When the last time you went to the grocery store, last week versus a year ago versus 2 years ago, are you paying more? If the answer is yes, inflation is still high. As far as what the Fed's going to do, here's the intriguing part. Mm-hmm. Jerome Powell was put in place by a Republican president, which was Donald Trump. Now, Biden came in, decided to keep him. Typically, what people will say is election season is coming. They want the stock market to perform well. They want people to feel like they're getting money. It might be harder to convince you're an opposing, a Democrat to convince not to get political here, but a Democrat to convince a Republican versus a Democrat to convince a Democrat. Like Joe Biden go to Jerome Powell and say, hey, we probably should start cutting some rates, get some money flowing back in the economy. If he would have been a Democrat, it might have been easier to sway. But just as the Fed raised rates very quickly, and it kind of hurt the market. Mm-hmm. The same, if not worse, can happen if they start cutting rates too fast. So I think the Fed's put themselves in a rock and a hard place. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form smarter or as smart as someone like Jerome Powell. Is the reason he's in the position he's in. But when they started handing money out, they should have started raising interest rates as well. How do you not see that people are pent up in their homes? You're airdropping them $1,400, $2,000. They can't spend the money, and all of a sudden the economy opens back up. Interest rates are still at 0. Unacceptable. And here's the predicament we're in. The best thing you can do, because I do believe something like hyperinflation will be coming to the United States, is to be well diversified, not just in crypto, but in also precious metals like gold, silver. And so that is kind of what I've been looking at. I've used to keep a lot of my savings in cash. That has changed over the last, I would say, 6 to 12 months. So definitely something I would recommend.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's kind of like we have a horrible hurricane season one year where, like, we have like 15 hurricanes, and then next year we have a regular one. Like, oh, this was one of the best or better years, and it's like, no, like, it's just better compared to last year. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like, they just, what a great way to beef up the numbers. They're ridiculous, you know. So, you know, that's an interesting concept too. When, you know, will we ever go back to 2 years? Will they start doing 6 months? Like, where do you make it? Like, when does it stop? Like, if you can cut 2 years, you know what I mean? Of course, they'll always do a year, but it just makes me like, and what else do they do in the government right now? With, if that's what they do now with big time numbers, there's probably a bunch of other numbers they're fudging in all other places. Like, you know.
I'll tell you one thing as well. It is in the government's best interest to make inflation seem as low as possible, because
Of course.
they have to increase Social Security benefits as inflation rises as well. And we know that the reserve fund at the Social Security is probably going to run out in about 7 years, 7 to 10 years. That's what the experts are saying. So if they now have to start paying out more money from
5
that
years.
account because inflation is higher, so it's in their best interest to kind of make inflation seem as low as possible, even though it's not.
And those are the people who vote, right? A lot of the, like, you know, it's hard to get the younger generation to vote. We're changing a little bit, but you can see, like, you know, the 60-year-old grandma is going to do the same vote that she's going to vote for, and she's the one watching inflation the most because she's on a fixed income, right? These are the people. So you know, they're going to cater to their base, cater to the people that they know are going to come to those polls, right? So, and in our behalf, whether they do it or not, it looks like they're going to inflate our bags and they're going to pump crypto because they can't do this without Bitcoin going up, right? You know what I mean? They can't. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because then they want to stop crypto too, but then they can't have their cake and eat it too. And it's kind of like we kind of got them. Like, we got them in right where we want them right now. It's kind of pretty awesome for us, for people that have been long on Bitcoin. I'm actually pretty excited. Yeah, and so this is creating a perfect storm. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that the ETF's coming out. We got a big supply shock. People are taking Bitcoin off the table. People like you and me that are long Bitcoin holders aren't selling. So with that being said, I want to ask you, do you see a 50K Christmas? Is that something that you could entertain?
If a spot ETF is here, yes. If not, no. And I'll tell you why. What season are we going into, Sam? Going into the holidays.
Yeah.
What are you spending your money on, Mr. Price? Spending money on family, friends, travel, Christmas presents, Thanksgiving dinner. And so historically, right, investments have gone down. People aren't as active in the stock market. Speaking from a retail perspective, right? The average person, they're spending the money on Christmas presents, family gatherings, so on and so forth. So if institutions are not here yet, right, via spot ETF, then no, I don't think we get to 50K, but I do think we can hold over 35. We can definitely hold over 30. But if the ETF is here, I think if the ETF gets approved before the month is over, I think we're going to get to about 55 to about 65K in Bitcoin by the end of the year. Also, what you got to remember as well, guys, is a lot of these large companies and people, they start to manipulate their trades for tax reasons, right? Coming up at the end of the year, it might be more beneficial to them to take a big loss on a position they've held for a long time to be able to bring down their tax liabilities. So that is something to look out for as well. A lot of movement happens, a lot of strategic movement happens, especially for people who are making high income. So that is something to keep an eye on as well. But guess what? I will continue my DCA strategy. That does not change. Bitcoin is a product and a commodity I plan on holding for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever sell my Bitcoin. I'm just going to use it as collateral, man, and just keep it rolling.
Same.
You know.
Same. Yep.
So now, with that being said, what is your prediction for the halving? I mean, I guess you kind of said it because we don't know about the ETF, but do we get through an all-time high before the halving, or do we just get like a kind of push up? Do we get that little pullback, and then do we see an all-time high after the halving? You kind of answered it in a way, but just going to add a little twist to that question, you know?
All the halving is going to do is it's going to make the move more violent, right? We understand that the block rewards, you have about 900 Bitcoin that comes out every day from block rewards, right, from mining. And that number, majority of that, these miners have to sell them because of operating expenses, right? They're running a business. Well, now that number gets cut in half, right? And if you take a look at you don't have to be an economist to know this, supply and demand. If demand continues to go up and the supply all of a sudden gets cut in half, I mean, you don't really need me to tell you what's going to happen to the price.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, I think it all comes down to a spot ETF, an avenue, a rail that people in the traditional markets who have billions and collectively trillions of dollars will now have access to. Financial advisors can now freely speak about Bitcoin as an investment, whereas right now they can't do that. And how many of the Gen X and the baby boomers that hold the most amount of wealth ever held in the history, which is, I think, over 60 or 70 trillion dollars. They are now going to walk in once a year, once every 6 months to talk to the financial advisor. And guess what? These financial advisors, they get paid based off of how well your portfolio is doing. So if they take the time to learn and they understand, okay, halving is coming, spot ETF, Bitcoin historically has averaged 170% gains. I'm probably undershooting it here.
Yeah.
Probably be a good idea for me to get some of my people's money into Bitcoin. A, I'm going to make money. B, they're going to make money. And if I'm one of the first financial advisors that's doing that, guess what? I'm now ahead of the game. That with the spot the spot ETF, with the halving, with retail, with everything going on in the world, the wars, the money printing, the inflation, what's happening in Argentina, Venezuela, how could you not be bullish on something like Bitcoin? I really don't understand. I don't get the people that push back on this. And to the people that say traditional finance getting in is bad for Bitcoin, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Yeah. You want your investment in Bitcoin to go up. Well, guess what? If it's only between us and people on YouTube, it's never going to get to 200,000, 300,000, $1 million. Bitcoin should be accessible to everyone. And when you talk about market manipulation, it happens in every single sector, whether it's gold, whether it's stocks, whether it's your own personal life.
Here's the deal.
So
let's be honest.
That to me is a dead argument.
I work at a restaurant. I become the manager. I know you for 10 years since we grew up. You come and be a waiter. You don't think I'm going to give you a few extra shifts from the other guy? Let's be honest. I'm the nicest guy in the world, but I know you since you were 10 years old. Like, once you get into position of a little bit more power, you know, we all try to be as fair as we can. And I'm not saying, you know, you're to be the greediest person on earth, but like, you're going to manipulate the situation a little bit in your favor if you can. I mean, that's human nature, you know what I mean? Or if, you know, so like the people at the top, they're going to use any situation they can to make, you know, pump Bitcoin. That's why they, you know, look at all the people that get liquidated left and right. Like, they know what they're doing, you know what I mean? They're trying to get retail to sell Bitcoin to them. Honestly, what I also see is whales, people that are rich, they are forward thinkers. That's a lot of reasons why they became rich, right? And they take risks. So they're not going to wait for the halving to buy. They're gonna start front running, right? And so I think that's also going to create a frenzy with the supply shock, and we're going to see some magic happen. You know, there's a chance we never see. You know, here's another great question: do we ever see below 30K again? Do you think we ever see Bitcoin lower than 30K ever again?
Ever again?
Ever again?
I would say 50-50. Will we ever see it under 20K again? I would say no.
I say, I'm almost guarantee it will never be under 20K again. Yeah.
I can't see a scenario where people let it get down all the way down to 20K. You know, you have Tether that's buying. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's hard to formulate in words because you start to sound like kind of like a moon boy. But and you know, anytime you know you're conditioned that if something's too good to be true,
yeah,
it's probably. But literally, if you just take a look at everything that is happening, everything that Bitcoin is, what it represents. Mm-hmm. And the factors that are in play here, no, I don't think it'll ever go under 20K. Under 30K in the short term before the spot ETF, potentially, I'm 50-50 on that right now. Yeah. But guess what? If it goes under 30K, guess what I'm doing?
I mean, you and everyone with a brain, you know what I mean? So it's like, That's another thing about it, you know? So I get excited. You get excited. I know you're not just into Bitcoin. Are there any other coins that you think are, you know, someone maybe, like if it was my sister that wasn't really into it, or my cousin, or someone asked me, someone went up to you in the street and said, hey, you know, what's a good coin? Not financial advice, of course, but like,
Chainlink.
You know, what would you think?
Chainlink, hands down.
Yeah.
So I've always been more than 60% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. And that number has gone down a little bit because I have just been pounding on Chainlink at $6, at $7, at $10. I put in an order at $13. What they are doing, right? We always talk about why do people continue to use Ethereum if it's slow, and that's where the liquidity is, right? That's the majority of liquidity is. Well, what if all the liquidity of all the private and public blockchains is all in one protocol? Would that make you bullish?
Very bullish.
What if also now staking is involved? What if there's only 1 billion total tokens max supply that can ever exist? You're looking at a project that is literally looking to do what we've all been begging for.
Yep.
Bridge the world of Web 2 to Web 3. I don't want to have 4 different wallets, take it to a bridge, lose my money, 10 different things, pay $100 in gas fees by the end of it just to move from Ethereum to Solana. I don't want to do that. Well, guess what? With what Chainlink is looking to accomplish, one click of a button, brother.
Well, Rubik does it, but it does it behind the scenes. You don't see it, but Rubik is a good place where you can just like, if you want to just do one thing to one thing, but at the same time, it's not going to be, you know, they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see. Like they're probably doing a bridge, they're doing something. I agree with you, man. I looked at Chainlink at $1.78. I started buying it then. I haven't really allocated right now. I have like a good enough position. I kind of think I could have a bigger one. But like I'm happy. Like if it pumps, I'm going to be part of the party. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be missed out at all. Another thing, I was with Bill Noble on the Spaces last night. Dude been trading for 30 years, you know, super respected guy in the world of TradFi and in getting into crypto. And he was saying, you know, these mom and pop private equity firms, all these people that start getting in and they want to allocate, there's not that many coins that they can get into. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to be buying Doge and Shiba. They need substantial projects. They need to sell these to people that have like huge trust funds and ideas. And to be honest, I believe that's why Chainlink did what it did. I think they wanted to start to allocate. And that's why you saw that move in Chainlink. That's why you're seeing a move in Matic. Matic's about to cross a buck soon, right, and fly. I think Avalanche also is going to get some big moves in Solana. Those are like, you know, those are 2, 3, you know, heavyweight. Solana, Avalanche, Matic, and Link. I think those are solid projects that are definitely going to hit their all-time highs and some. And they're just very, very.
I think one more layer one that has a ton of upside is Near.
Okay.
Near Protocol, what they're doing, the team. Right, they've incorporated the most accessible, easy to programming language into their layer one, their blockchain. With their recent partnership with Polygon and to essentially bridge the liquidity gap between Near and Ethereum layer one. Near is something at $1.60 all-time high, $21. Man, can this thing get to 60, 70 bucks? You're talking about what is that, a 30x, 35x from a top 25 project? That is something I'm keeping my eye on as well. That's kind of my dark horse layer one. And I know some people might say, well, dark horse, it's already in the top 30. To me, anything outside of Ethereum, Solana, Cardano is really a dark horse because those are seen as the top layer ones that are going to drive the space forward. I think something that can come through the back door is going to be Near Protocol.
Are you a Kadena fan? Some people, like, just because the other day, man, Kadena is my dark horse. And you know, it hasn't pumped too hard yet. It's on the low. I don't own any. I'm not like 100%.
No.
I'm just curious to see what you have to say because I'm like, I dabble with it sometimes in my mind, you know.
I haven't. So I know Kadena's proof of work, right? But if you're looking for another proof of work coin, I'd rather go with something like Casper, right?
Yeah, I love you right
Ghost Tag, right?
Yeah.
Man, that thing has been on a tear.
All-time
It's like
today,
the bear market just doesn't matter. Like, what's a bear market? Said Casper.
I'll be honest, in my trading group, this was the funnest bear market ever, man. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair to people who are Kadena fans, I haven't really dug deep into their project to understand the big partnerships they're doing, but it's not something that's on my radar. Will I miss out on some gains? Potentially, but it's not something I'm looking to invest in right now.
Man, I really like your insight. I learned a lot just talking to you every time we hang out, and I just get along with you really well. Any last thing you want to say? Tell people where they can find you. This is the second half of Sin City Crypto, or the first half. I don't want to, but the two halves of Sin City Crypto, my man. Just because you sit on the right, left, and right, I think.
Yeah.
But you know, this is my man Dave and Rob from. This is Dave from Sin City Crypto. Dave, where can they find you? Where can people get to know you? What do you guys offer? What's going on? Tell my subscribers and tell anyone that watches this about your world, man.
For sure. Well, first off, man, you know, I always love collaborating with you. You're one of the few people we truly call a friend in the space, right? Not just a fellow content creator, but a friend. If you guys want more of Sin City Crypto, we do a live show Monday through Friday on YouTube at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just go to YouTube at Sin City Crypto. And then on Twitter, that's where we're most active on social media. We are looking to expand to more mediums like TikTok, Instagram. We actually just started doing dual casting to Twitch. Mm-hmm. So once we work out some of the kinks there, we'll start promoting that as well. But mainly YouTube, and then our Twitter handle is Sin City Crypto 1. Our mantra is we're in the entertainment capital of the world. We want to educate, entertain you. We want to have a diverse and an engaged community. We like to have a lot of fun. We like to bring experts on like Crypto Lifer, whether it's TA, whether it's insights, whether it's from projects. And so we just try to keep people informed, have a good time. To us, this is not just a hobby. This is, we spent a lot of money. We built out an actual studio, right? So we're not just, the average streamer. And nothing against the average streamers, because the studio setup is not something I'd recommend, actually, at all. It takes a lot of money, takes a lot of time. It's a learning curve. But to us, this was our way of saying we're all in. And so that's kind of where we're at. We're excited for this next bull market. And to those of you watching that have been diligent and haven't left and continue to watch and get information, you are about to be rewarded like you have never been rewarded before. And so big round of applause to you for sticking it through. Patience is a virtue, my friends. Nothing happens overnight. And it's been a long bear market, but man, we are turning the corner, and I am so excited for what is to come. I hope you guys watching are too. And we're excited for more collaborations with Crypto Lifer.
Can we do this? Wait. Are you there? Oh, wait. Keep coming. No, wait. No, other way. Is it the other way? No, keep coming. Oh, but I love you, Dave. Have a great night, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, brother.
And I'll catch you on the next time I'm on your show or you're on mine. Have a great day. God bless.
Thanks, brother. You too.